Great day, everybody, and welcome. Of course, I am Dr. Marrian, Efua, your host here on the Exponential Existence Media. This is your Thursday Thought, and I'm so excited for us to be here to spend some time together to learn more about how to be our highest and greatest self, examining all of our thoughts, our beliefs, our practices, and a few habits, learning how to transform them into self-mastery in order to be, have, and experience holistic prosperity. Yes, I am Dr. Marrian Efua, and it is indeed a pleasure and an honor for me to be here with you on tonight. So go ahead and click like and share and invite in a few of your friends because we are here for the Thursday Night Thought. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to not delay ourselves on tonight because tonight conversation is going to be a little bit sharing from my book, Seeking Xscape. If you have not gotten your copy, please go ahead and find us over on Amazon. It's also in a ebook form or on KDP, and you can get a copy, but it is on Amazon, and it's called Seeking Xscape. It is a journey of exploration and how to seize and communicate all possibilities to excel exponentially. And we talk about the exponentiality here at Exponential Existence because when you understand the power of an exponent and what that represents for you as a human being, it begins to transform yourself into a position, into a knowing, into a thought creation system. That's what you become, a thought creation system that allows you to really expand your life in the levels that you would like it to be. So on tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And the chapter is simply called Reflection on Broken Pieces. Now, on tonight, when you're here, when you come in, I want you to make sure you tell me what city and state you're calling from, what city and state you're listening in, so that we can make sure we follow up, because that is what we use for our data to be able to know exactly where our family members are. And when we are traveling, we attempt to get us together for a small family reunion. Sometimes it's large, and we want to enjoy each other and make sure we are ready to go. So if you have not done so, how do you get to be a family member, a real 100% family member? All you have to do is go over to exponentialexistence.com, exponentialexistence.com, and /connect. And when you get to our website, you'll be able to see that you can join us and become part of our family member. What does that look like? That means you're going to get a monthly newsletter. That means that you're going to be able to get some information sent to you in your email about some of the friends and cousins that we have that are doing events and services that could really benefit you, that can really help you go ahead and take the next step up in releasing the innate information that's awaiting manifestation. So you can begin to live a life that is filled with holistic prosperity. Now, I've said that word twice already, so I think it's only right that I take a moment to tell you what holistic prosperity looks like. Holistic prosperity means that in your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and economic health life, you have harmony. There is an equilibrium that exists in that. So it's kind of like that story, everything you touch is gold, or you're living in a euphoric state. It is that place where you really can begin to harness all of who you are and what you want to be. So on tonight, that's what we're talking about here on the Thursday Night Thought Session. I'm going to be reading an excerpt from our book, but go ahead and go to our website and be sure to check in with us. Let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and let's begin to do that. The next thing I wanted to do is invite you out for a unique opportunity where you will be able to spend 3 days with us here in Arizona for the Mastering My Exponential, the Mastering Me retreat. Now, some of you have attended and some of you may have heard of it, but it is our annual event, culminating event for the year. And it's where all the persons who are working with us in our programs and services, persons who are just curious and want to really get serious and work on themselves and want to begin to live the life that is filled with that exponential existence, filled with you being understanding the fullness of that. Hey there, Shanti. It's just really an opportunity for you to come and be a part of that and grow. And we're going to focus on you, meaning mastering your exponential, Because if you're like me, I know that sometimes I don't trust myself. I know that sometimes I can be progressing sometimes, and all of a sudden we realize that as we're progressing, that we're not really progressing as fast as we should because we keep worrying about a message or a memory or a thought that we really should have let go of a long time ago. So this is an opportunity for you to get into a room with myself and other trained coaches, practitioners, and we just really you, walk through you, and we begin to explore and we begin to identify some key components of what needs to happen in order for us to live a greater and better life, truly having that exponential existence. So that's what that is, December 7th through the 8th. So you can go there and find out more about that event. And lastly, I want to remind you that really while we're here, what I'm really talking about with all of this, it doesn't make any sense if I don't remind you. The reason why we do everything we do is because I had this epiphany that I am the root of my success. And do you know that you are the root of your success? So if you believe that and you know that you are the root of your success, that you're what's grounded, you're what needs to be able to harness and access all of who you are so that you can dominate the space with your beauty, with your grace, with your love, with your honor, with your wisdom, with your stories, with your mindset, with your healing, with your peace, with your joy, with your relationships. You want to begin to do that because you are the root of your success. You are the root of that exponent. You are the base. You are the foundation, and you control the power. So you control the resources that is going to allow you to grow. Because after all, you are the best thing growing. And in being the best thing growing, there's nothing that anyone can take away from you because you are the root of your success. So if you need to move yourself closer to more sunlight, then that's what you should do. And if you need to begin to pull up and drop a little bit more nutrients out of your body, then you need to be able to do so. Because when you begin to access the correct knowing and give it the space that you are the root of your success, and that your success, you can have a great mentor, a great coach, you can have a great session, read a great book, you can be inspired, motivated, empowered, and exercise, if that's the best way to say it. But if you do not trust and believe that it is all ultimately in your hand as being the root to your success, then it's all for naught. So tonight, remember to say that with me. Type it in the room, write it down, say it out loud. I am the root of my success. Your success is contingent upon you making a decision. And after you make that decision, then you have to begin to commit to it. And I know that commitment is a big word, and I know we've all had commitments broken and we've missed commitments and all kind of things. But I want to remind you that tonight, once you make a decision and you commit to you commit to release that exponential existence inside of you, that inner exponent, that expansiveness, that growth, that wisdom, that love that you're seeking outside of you that is actually inside of you already, waiting for you to say, hey, get out of here, shine, share it. That's what we're talking about tonight here on the Exponential Existence Media Radio here on the Thursday Thought. How do you begin to really seek escape? How do you really begin to reflect upon broken pieces? That's our topic here tonight on the Thursday Thought. The last thing I want you to do is I want you to get focused. I want you to say it with me and repeat after me. I focus, I focus, I focus. And if you are focusing, then what's that telling me is that you understand that where your focus goes is where your energy goes. And if your energy is going somewhere, it definitely should be in what you want. What do you want? What is your focus? Well, tonight it's on our Thursday Thought. It's about reflecting on broken pieces. And as I said, I'm going to read a short passage. I'm rereading my books, and I'm going to read a short passage that is in that chapter that is called Reflection on Broken Pieces. Now, before I read, I want to also remind you that I chose this piece for a reason tonight, and I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I'm going to be transparent with you because I want you to understand that even as you're moving around as a lifestyle alchemist and a transformation engineer, the transformation, the vortex is always spinning, and you're also being spun by the vortex that you are spinning, that is transforming, that is transmuting, that is translating information into a new creation of the things that you desire and want. So I was walking this morning, as I always do. And this morning when I was walking, it came to me and it said, the vessel has been healed. The vessel has been placed back together. The vessel has borrowed pieces, created pieces, and removed some pieces that were no longer needed, only to discover that some of those pieces, when they failed, damaged the smaller vessels that she treasured. And that's her children. See, I'm a mother. And what I realize is that as my children are in adulthood, that they still have some remnants, that when I was removing these pieces, as I was growing and fixing my own vessel, as we all go through transformation and growth and letting go of things, you find out very quickly that sometimes there's some collateral damage. And that collateral damage that we think is okay, we later found out is had a lot more damage done than what we expected. And so I realized that a lot of times that as I was growing and it was for the better, as I was healing and it was for the better, as I was loving myself more and it was for the better, and making it possible so my children wouldn't repeat the same circumstances and situations, because we all know that we want the best for our children. So what do? You start doing what? You start making sure that you're doing better. Absolutely. So I realized that I'm that vessel. I'm the vessel. I am the vessel that is broken, repaired, and has some distant places and some things like that I am waiting for. Some things that I have healed and recreated and transmuted. Some holes that I feel, some wounds that I have patched up, has not negated the fact that when I remove some of those harmful pieces, some of those layers, that sometimes they fell down and they damaged the very precious gems and creations called my children. So today I want to talk about a little bit. I'm going to read, because I'm not going to keep us over. But again, I'm reading from my book, Seeking Xscape. And this is on page 26. In the chapter called Reflection on Broken Pieces. If you don't know from whence you've come, you won't know from where you want to be. We all have memories of things that our parents told us, or stories that were read to us during our childhood. And no matter how many times we read the book or heard that story, we reacted the same way. Surprised, and we enjoyed it. Sad, or we waited for the ending and the plot to come together to show that we were happy. Sure, it was what we wanted, and it felt like it would keep the relationship, and we could share that moment with them time and time again, because it was what made them happy. However, this pattern wasn't just for story time or for playtime. It turned into a pattern that followed us into our adulthood, but it became a misguided application. We noticed that our friends and loved ones began to do things that were not so innocent, yet we continue to pay along and accept and allow this behavior. The moment we allowed our kindness and compassion to be manipulated because of friendship, because of bloodline, because of obligation, because of time. And so as a result, we are left in a state of unhappiness and disappointment and discomfort. We should have spoken up, sure. And we could have outed out the persons and began to request that we are silent and conform and ignore the factors that would inhibit and limit our growth and progression and happiness. But we were not sure how to. But now we can. Now we can by doing some self-reflection and looking at the real story, reading the real script, allowing the real characters to come forth, and the images to be chosen versus given. Choosing to respond but not react to our life's broken pieces. Making a true assessment of what we need and what we want to accept, because it is okay to do so, and not doing the same old thing is no longer a problem. So give up, the ideal of reacting and accepting that just because it's always been that way, that's the way we do things. It'll help you get along. You'll last longer. Don't you really want a relationship? We want to respond instead with honesty to all of those questions. We want to respond to all of those statements with love. We want to respond to all of those questions with dignity, and we want to begin to trust ourselves by looking into the proverbial mirror of self-reflection and allow it to open the door to our personal development and a sense of direction toward our true, authentic self, the one that existed way before we began to hear all the stories, all the mantras, all the messaging, all the discoveries, all the upsetted conversations, all the arguments, before we begin to be told we were too young, too fat, too skinny. The gender was wrong, the age was wrong, and too much has happened. I'm inviting you, I'm asking you, I'm showing you, I implore you to experience the reflection of building a plan of escape, escaping to a place that you want to create, escaping to have the life that you desire, escaping to have the relationship that makes you happy, escaping to be the mother, the father, the sister, the brother, the lover, the friend, and all on your terms, in agreement with your true self. The first time I consciously can recall hearing the word reflection, I thought it was something that was obscure, something that didn't make sense to me. I thought it meant just looking outside of the mirror or looking into some water and seeing an image, a building up of something, not understanding that it was more than that. So I sat in that space, I sat in that classroom, and I began to ponder. The question was, what is it that I see in the mirror? The instructor went on to write about you should consider your weaknesses. You can consider your own opinions. You should begin to consider your likes, your dislikes. You should begin to consider how people view you, how you view other people. We were encouraged to respond to the concepts and ideologies that we felt uncomfortable and comfortable with. Going through this process, I realized that I had never had time to reflect before. I had never been time to ask myself the questions, what do I really like? What do I really want? What really matters to me? What do I really believe? And where do I want to be? Not what do I want to be, but where do I want to be? And with whom do I want to be there with? All I knew was this concept of reflection ended 12 pages later. 12 pages later, when all I could say is, why did I have to censor for so long and limit myself for so long? If I could do this in 15 minutes, write 12 pages on a computer of my opinions, of my feelings, of my emotions, of my goals, of my visions, of my dreams, who else was I teaching this to? How could this be a benefit to me? I had been hurting, and the answer was why. Why would I think it was okay? How could I have allowed this to go for so long? Why did others even want me to feel this way? And then at that moment, I knew something had to change. I'd have to change what I'd been doing, who I had been presenting to the world, and what was being presented to me. It was not to continue to be. I was definitely going to seek escape. Now, see, when I was reading that, even reading that, I can remember and find myself questioning and finding myself to understand why I'm in this position where I was there. Reflection on broken pieces. That professor had me in that graduate class, and she said, in order for you to get through this PhD program, you got to know who you are, because it's going to test every part of your fortitude. It's going to question if you got any habits, if you got any beliefs, if you got any doubts, it's going to hinder you. Do you know that's the same thing that we go through? See, I felt that. I thought I was the bomb.com. I thought that I had made it to graduate school. I was married. I married my childhood sweetheart. We had these children. We were doing well. But then what we do, though, so often is what we do is we will say, oh, it's all good, and we'll just let it slide. And what that professor said was, there's some broken pieces. There's some broken pieces that haven't shattered yet. And if you don't acknowledge them, if you don't do something to refortify them, to rebuild them, to give them space, then you are not going to be able to complete this program. You're not going to be able to maintain your relationship. You're not going to be able to position yourself as an authority, because you're going to constantly be buying into the false reflection that was in that mirror. The false reflections, the false images, the concepts. We're real good at saying that we love each other, that we love ourselves. We're real good at saying that we're able and capable and more than qualified. But the question is, do we believe it? Do we believe it? In that moment when I began to write that out, that's when I realized, 12 pages later, I remember I still have it. I still have it on my computer. And I even printed it out and I put it into a book for me to reflect upon and remember. This is how it began, when I knew there was more. When I knew that I no longer had to keep sitting here ignoring the broken pieces, waiting for somebody to come, and someone fragile, at the least most inopportune time, that they come and they break that fragile piece of me. And that fragile piece of me would expose me in such a way that I may not never recover. So I was not willing to do that. I wasn't willing to trust that I could keep walking around with these fragile, broken pieces, waiting and hoping and putting on layers and trying to prevent the layer of clothes, the layer of makeup, the layer of degrees, the layer of relationships, the layers of learning some type of new modality, the layers of putting myself in groups with people that might make me look small because they're so big, but I look so important. It talked a good game. It walked a good game. But it wasn't real and it wasn't authentic. And if we're really going to move forward, if you're really going to begin to understand the escape plan that you need for your life, you need to recognize what broken pieces are there, and you need to start there. Start looking at those broken pieces and you ask yourself, why are they broken? And know that they can be replaced and they can be repaired and they can be told and seen as a place of beauty, even in their broken state. They're not to hold us back. They're not to trap us. It's time for you to begin to explore. Explore you. It's time to begin to explore you. It's time to begin to explore you. It's time to begin to seize and surrender. Seize the opportunities that are knocking at your door and surrender unto them, to allow them to take you to the next place, that you can begin to communicate yourself authentically, that you can begin to communicate to other people that are willing to be in the same plane and elevation that you're seeking for. Go ahead and allow yourself going. Why? Why are they broken, and what are you going to do about it? It's not for you to sit there and ponder forever, but it is there for you to begin to understand. Hashtag, I'm ready to escape. Ready to escape. Are you going to begin to explore, seize, communicate, surrender yourself to all possibilities? All possibilities. Not saying I don't like the package of the possibilities coming in. I'm not just going to give up and go with the first thing because I want a relationship. I'm just going to turn myself and grab the first thing coming. Because I want to make money, I'm going to grab any job that I can grab because that's what I'm going to do. Because I need some clients and customers in my business, I'm just going to grab any customers. I'm going to lower my prices and I'm going to serve everyone, even though they're not my target market. No, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to escape. You're going to do it with integrity. You're going to do it with authenticity. You're going to do it with the realities that the possibilities and opportunities that are falling into your space are waiting for you. You're going to do it with reflection, understanding your goals and reminding yourself over and over again of what the innate information awaiting manifestation has to offer you. You're going to understand that right now that's all within you and it's waiting for you to give it permission to show itself. That right now, you have to understand that when you begin to live into a position and a harnessing of your truth, your escape plan becomes a reality, and it becomes holistic prosperity. It becomes rewarding relationships. It becomes an increased activation and awareness of your spirituality. It becomes a new level of communication, a new level of healing within your physical body, within your emotional body, within your mental body. All of it in harmony, moving as one. Moving as one. Because then, and only then, are you ready? Are you ready? Because if you're ready, like I was ready those 12 years ago, writing those 12 pages, understanding that where I was going and where I had been had to begin to transmute into something different, someplace different that was allowing me to be my highest and greatest self, allowing me to build up my greatest opportunities for truth, my greatest opportunities for myself, not just buying into, holding on to. So begin to seek escape. Begin to fill your life with your truth. Reflect upon your broken pieces and ask yourself, what do I need to do to heal? What do I need to do to have more clarity? Why am I getting confused? Why am I allowing myself to become victimized over and over again by the thoughts and opinions of others who obviously have lived their life and have experienced their lives in such a way that I need not worry about it anymore? Ask yourself the questions. Get ready. And if you need some support in doing that, then of course you want to talk to me. I'm always available to you. I'm providing you with the opportunities here tonight. This is what I do as a give back because I remember what it's like. I remember what it's like. You need someone who's going to be unbiased. You need someone who's going to share with you. I needed someone. We all need someone at some point that's going to be real with us, is going to help us, guide us, support us, let us lean on them, fall out and get carried by them sometimes, and shown a new perspective, a new opportunity. So if that's something you really want to do on tonight, I have a program that I'm offering. It's called Clarity Squared. It's a commitment that you give with me. We're going to be walking through some ideology, some concepts, some feelings, some emotions, some thoughts. We're going to be working on your self-mastery because we never really get there. And by the time we do, it's time for us to pass the baton on to someone else. So self-mastery is an ever-evolving, ever-turning process. So in Clarity Squared, what I'm offering people is an opportunity to become part of a program for a 12-month period. It's a commitment every month for 2 hours. We do it online, and we walk through the process. But you got to be willing to do that. And that's our Clarity Squared program. Clarity Squared. That means it's about expanding. It's about widening the visual of your awareness, of your clarity, of your wisdom, of your truth. Allowing some healing to take place, to clear out some of those spaces you got junked up with all the anger and all the grudges and all the frustration and all the doubts and all the ideas that someone's working against you, that someone never wants to hurt you. I'm sharing with you tonight that if you really, really want a change in your life, if you're ready to go to the next level, if you're holding on for the next thing that you know is coming because you're having visions, you're having the conversations, you're seeing it all around you in your conscious world, why not invest in it? Why not do some things that can help you make room for it? Money wants to have a space in your life, but you don't have any room for it. Because as soon as you get it, you say, I don't have enough money. So the money goes, okay, well, she don't have enough, so I'm going to send her this much. He don't have, oh, I'm broke. Oh, he broke. Okay, we better not do too much pressure on him. Nobody in my family's ever had a long-term relationship. We never get along, right? So we are speaking over our lives and we are saying things that are hindering us from being able to go. So subconsciously we plant these things in our mind. I want to support you. Let's get some clarity. Go to this link at bit.ly/clarity_squared. Find yourself an opportunity to have a conversation with me if you would like. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if this is the best match for you to help you springboard yourself into your next. If you're not willing to invest in your best and greatest asset, the one who's responsible for being the root of your success, the one that controls the energy that is going to give a focus, the one that has the ability to fly higher and see more than any other person can see for your own life. If that's you, if you're ready, if you are ready, then you need to get ready to come on and become part of Clarity Squared. This program is available to you for 12 months. It is a group coaching program, but it also gives you take up some of my availability one-to-one time to work through some of your personal things, so that when we get together, you have a greater focus. People that I've worked with have already said to me, they always talk about they have no idea that their life could be this clear, that they can make decisions on their own. No more indecisiveness. Money begins to become an allocation versus a spending. Children begin to see more organization in you, so they become more organized. You're more disciplined, so they become more disciplined. Love begins to come around you, authentic, unconditional, pure agape love first, and then you begin to attract some eros loves. Why? Because your body, your vibration, your mind, your frequency has been risen. Clarity is power. If you don't have clarity, then you will not have the greatest success that you can have. You will not understand your positioning. Clarity is power. Clarity Squared. Go to this website and sign up for our program today. Have a conversation with me, and we will talk again soon. This has been the Thursday Night Thought Session here with Dr. Marrian Efua here on Exponential Existence Radio. And we're going to be back here on every Thursday, here to share with you the Thursday Thought. You could also find us and watch for our posts. We have Monday, we do a Make It Happen Monday post. We do a 2-Minute Tuesday and Turn It Up spot. And we also do a Wednesday Wisdom Wonderment piece, and followed up by Thursday Night Thought. And then on Saturdays, we are also serving you on the Saturday Set Down. Watch out for our live events. As we said, we are hosting our Mastering My Exponential Retreat in Phoenix, Arizona on December 7th to the 9th. You can go ahead and sign up for that as another opportunity to have a more intense opportunity with myself and some more coaches, trainers, and friends. Oh my goodness, that's all right. Sometimes that happens, girls. Sometimes that happens. We are speaking to each other because you were pulled into this vortex moment. You were pulled into this vortex moment, and so these words become for you because you were pulled here, because you needed them in order to transmute. You needed them to unlock one more code inside of you. You needed this space to be able to breathe and to hear unequivocally, without any interruption, without any distraughtness, and without any fear. Thanks again for joining us here. Again, I am Marrian Efua. Thank you for joining us here for the Thursday Night Thought Session. We will be back here on next week, Thursday, same time. I know that daylight savings time is throwing some people off, but however, we're going to continue to go because our inner clock is more than enough to allow us to live to be the best and highest person that we are. And remember, when things begin to cloud your way, make you feel like you just can't go on, stop. Scream out nice and loud. That's not my reality. And know that it's time for you to seek escape. Until next time, good night.